All right, guys. Blue Beetle. If there was ever another movie besides the Marvels that is about to get fucked by box office bomb, it is 110% Blue Beetle. And this is because the director's doing, which, if you remember a few months ago, the trailer came out and it had a line by George Lopez's character where it said Batman's a fascist. And almost everybody on the internet that has any kind of sense of not being a woke liberal rolled their eyes immediately because we all know what the real meaning behind that line was and why they're trying to do it. It's because that's what the narrative is with all this woke liberal media that's coming out. And it actually turned me away from wanting to see Blue Beetle, unfortunately. But we're going to give our thoughts on it because as of late, the director has changed his stance. He was actually kind of being a prick on Twitter a while back, and now he had to private his Twitter, and he's back. He's kind of changing his tune. So let's talk about it. Because DC and Warner Brothers have been a mess. Shazam failed. Black Adam failed. They can't do anything right. They're panicking at this point. There was even rumors of them supposedly thinking about delaying or even indefinitely canceling Blue Beetle because it's been a disaster, one after the other, and they can't seem to catch a break at all. Aquaman 2, oh my god, I feel so bad for Aquaman 2 coming out because I like Jason Momoa. And this is all within the transition period of the DCEU coming out with James Gunn. And people are tuning out in droves. I feel bad for James Gunn because he's going to be a fall guy should it fail eventually because things aren't looking good for DC as a whole with their movies. So they went on a firing spree. It was like Oprah giving cars to everybody, but except instead of cars, it was pink slips. It was like Henry Cavill, gone. James Gunn, they showed him the door too. I mean, who's next? Nope, 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 nope. Every single person from the Justice League Snyderverse, absolutely gone. I mean, what's next? They're keeping Aquaman for now, but more than likely he'll be gone when Aquaman 2 fails. Batman, Ben Affleck is no longer Batfleck, so bye bye. The Flash was another failure that happened. You know, it had potential because of the fan service and everything involved, but my God, Sound of Freedom destroyed the Flash's box office earnings. So these box office woes are like a black hole. Black Adam didn't make it. Shazam 2 didn't make it. Flash didn't make it. These are flops left and right, guys. So Blue Beetle has some big shoes to fill, and it's a comic character nobody gives a shit about. Honestly, it's a comic character that nobody cares about. It has no ramifications for the DCEU, and it's going to be a challenge for it to even get anything. And it's not helping that it had a line like Batman's a fascist. I do like the actor, though. The lead actor from Cobra Kai, good guy. I like him. But unfortunately, his young career is going to be met with a huge fucking bomb. And I think for young actors, it's a tough pill to swallow. But that's part of it, honestly. But the main thing that's going to make this movie fail is a lot of what the director pulled on Twitter. He was sassy. He was a little scandalous. He made a comment about wanting Donald Trump to be assassinated, and that didn't sit well. He pissed off people left and right. He even had to private his social media because of the backlash. And you know DC took note of this. You know he's gone, probably. He's definitely singing a different tune now, trying to patch things up. Because, of course, he doesn't want Blue Beetle to be a bomb like everything else in the DC with more popular characters, I'll have you know, bombing. There's not a good chance at all that this is going to even reach its budget. The projections aren't looking good at all. If you go online and take a look at the projections, this movie is doomed to fail. And I don't know. It seems like DC got a bit carried away with identity politics, just like Marvel, just like Disney, just like Star Wars, just like every single major franchise out there, shoving it into every nook and cranny of movies. It's like representation is cool and all, but when you overdo it, it's kind of off-putting. And they're dealing with a lot of aftermaths of several buzzkill marketing approaches from previous movies and a transition period. I think a lot of people are honestly tuned out because of the transition between what they have and James Gunn now. They're like, we'll start over when it becomes a new thing and we won't have to worry about any of this. Essentially, these are like lame duck movies that have no bearing at all. They want to weave and interconnect everything, and it seems like The Flash was kind of a little bit of a goofy send-off to what was previously done with the Snyderverse. But, yeah, I mean, they're definitely setting records. Not the kind that you would want in the box office, but, yeah. I think Blue Beetle's going to unfortunately suffer because you had Dwayne The Rock fucking Johnson as Black Adam, and that movie took a hit. What makes you think that the kid from Cobra Kai is going to do better than him? Especially when you have George Lopez, who's insufferable as all fuck, in the movie making comments like Batman's a fascist. And you have a director that's just as insufferable and wishing for the assassination of a former president. So, yeah, they already have several of the odds against them on this Blue Beetle movie. I almost think they should just make it a Max movie, like release it on Max, don't even go in the movie theaters, because it's gonna be set to be a big oof when it comes out. So DC and Warner Brothers are between a rock and a hard place, literally, when it comes to their future. I mean, I had initial interest with Blue Beetle, and then I think it got delayed, didn't it? Which is a sign that's bad. And then I think they requested reshoots, and Warner Brothers turned them down. They wanted reshoots after failures of previous movies, and I think Warner Brothers was like, nah, you guys, you're on your own, basically. I don't know. I think this is going to be a very, very bad experience for everybody involved on this side of things, and it's unfortunate that a young actor that's getting his biggest movie break after Cobra Kai, he's going to be getting a freaking bomb. Like, literally, in the first full feature-length movie that this kid gets, it's going to be a bomb. And hopefully he rebounds from it. Hopefully this kid understands that it's not his fault. And it's DC and Warner Brothers 110%. And it's people before him like Dwayne Johnson. And unfortunately, I feel Shazam 2 failed more because of the writing and because production of it was terrible. I don't think that was, what's his name? Zach Levi's fault. The movie was terrible, but I don't think it was Zach Levi's fault. He needs to just jump and go to Marvel already, in my personal opinion. But Blue Beetle, it's not looking good at all for Blue Beetle. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts.